So hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. This is Mel's Gaming, here with, well, kind of a bit of a different video. I don't know whether to say a Call of the Wild video because part of it's going to be about Call of the Wild, but part of it isn't. So basically this video is going to be talking about EW's latest survey that they put out. I believe it actually came out last night for me, and I sat and went through it and there was some really interesting stuff in there. And let's just say, I think EW might be looking at working on a new game. So, firstly, there was just some more generic questions. Your age, your gender, what's your favourite The Hunter game? There was just some of those kind of questions in here. Whether or not you enjoy simulations of real-world outdoor activities in video games, how interested would you be to pick up and play a console or PC video game with a primary focus on each of the following activities, and then loads of different real-life activities like motocross, etc. Which of the following words or phrases do you think are most associated with The Hunter Classic? And there was also one for The Hunter Call of the Wild, and you could go through and tick several different responses for things that you felt sort of go along with those games. In general, which of the following statements best describes how you'd feel about simulations of real-world outdoor activities in video games, such as hunting, fishing, flying a plane, etc.? If you had to select the 3 activities you'd most like to see included together in a console or PC game, which of the 3 would be most appealing to you? And then, again, some more options. Again, I was going like hunting, fishing, falconry, all of those kind of things. And then there were some questions about online service games, or live service games, rather. So, yeah, just some questions about how you feel about different things and what's most important to you out of these different options that were given. And then, which of the following are you most interested in playing as the primary focus of a console or PC game? Please select up to 3. And again, we've got like horseback riding, fishing, falconry, hunting. Some really interesting ones there. You said that you might be interested in a PC or console game focused on each of the following activities. Please indicate on the scale below where you'd most prefer each type of game to be, going between authentic simulation and arcade style. And of course, your answers do influence the questions, it seems, that you will get. Which of the following words or phrases most apply to falconry? I had a few questions about falconry come up as I, ticked boxes to do with falconry, about being interested in falconry in a game, etc. So like I said, it seems to be that depending on what answers you give, you'll get sort of questions relating to those activities. But the one thing that really struck me throughout the entire survey, we'd like to ask more about your thoughts on a potential fishing video game on console or PC, and there was a lot of questions about a potential fishing game. Now, you're going to see some of those questions popping up on screen, so I'm just going to talk about general sort of fishing and EW and some stuff about that whilst you can see these questions that I got. So, there has been a lot of people that have wanted to see EW make either a complete standalone fishing game or add fishing to The Hunter Call of the Wild for a very, very, very long time. And I have seen many, many requests of, it would be great if we saw fishing added to Call of the Wild, and then people that are, the same as me and think maybe it'd be better just to have a entirely new fishing game. So when I saw all these questions about potential fishing console or PC game, I was really excited because I think EW could do a really good job of a fishing game. If you can imagine a fishing game that had similar mechanics to Call of the Wild, where you could get, let's just say they use the same system as Call of the Wild, and you can get diamond fish or rare fish. That's what I'm looking for in a fishing game, is something that keeps me coming back looking for those trophies. Because every fishing game at the moment, I just find it too boring because it's the same model every time of the same fish, and you might get one that looks slightly bigger than the rest and then you throw it back and it's gone, or it just goes into, your cache for the game or whatever. I would like to see something where you have like a trophy lodge, like we do in Call of the Wild, and you can put your biggest fish on display. If, a diamond ranking fish, you can put your rare fish on display, because fish can have rare variations too. There's really cool things that can happen with fish. So I think there'd be so much potential for that. Like, they could add, you know, ones that have got scarring, ones that have different colour scales, different, like albinos. I've seen albino fish, so that would be really cool, and that would keep me coming back looking for those trophies, and that's what I'd really like to see. Like, there's even questions here about what type of additional content, updates, and DLC would make the most sense to you for a potential fishing game. Like, I would be so excited if we can have a really customizable character, really customizable rods, reels, tackle, everything, you know, to make it as personalized as possible. That's always what I'm really looking for. And like I said, I just need something in a fishing game that will keep me coming back rather than just grinding for cash. That would be something that I would really love to see. And then here you go, thinking about games you'd want based on activities in the previous questions. How important would each of the following be to you in a new outdoor simulation game for your console or PC? And you can see many different options here, going from not at all important to very important, and then you have everything going down the left-hand side. So there's just so much potential for this. If EW are planning to make a fishing game, I will be very excited. Now, Jaxie Beard did mention on a live stream, and I did actually clip it and put it into a video, back when Revontuli was sort of about to be announced, someone actually mentioned that they would love to see fishing added to Call of the Wild, and Jaxie Beard said that they don't plan on adding fishing to Call of the Wild, because it's one of those things where there's just so many mechanics that would be needed that is it really worth it when Call of the Wild is, in and of itself, a hunting game? It is the hunter Call of the Wild. And, you know, how many people are actually going to want to do fishing when it is a hunting game at the end of the day? And would those resources be better put into making things like a new trophy lodge, or new great ones, or new guns and stuff to actually do with hunting? So I was always very much on the side of, I would like to see a completely new fishing game if they were to do something like that, because as well, adding so many mechanics into Call of the Wild, I feel like there'd be so much potential for things to break and go wrong if they had to add all these new fish that you could actually be able to catch. There's going to be a whole lot of rendering and, like I said, new mechanics of actually being able to catch fish. It would be, I think, really quite difficult to be able to implement. So a new game, to me, would definitely be the most sensible option, and something that I would definitely look at playing. If EW makes a fishing game, I will definitely play it, and I will hope that they, like I said, use some of the sort of Call of the Wild mechanics in terms of trophies, etc., and trophy lodges, so that I do have a reason to keep playing it. That is the whole thing with me in fishing games. I don't enjoy any fishing games that are currently on the market, just because they don't have that thing that keeps me coming back looking for trophies, and looking for unique specimens, and trying to make my lodge as best as it can be with as many different specimens and as many different rares, etc. as possible. So if they sort of use those sort of things from Call of the Wild and implement that into a fishing game rather than a hunting game, I think it could be really cool. And also the questions about falconry really interest me. If they were to have a game where you have fishing, hunting and falconry, that could be really cool. Because there was obviously the questions of which three activities would you like to see sort of all combined. And those were the three that I would really like to see personally. But my worry with that, on the other side, is I don't want to see another game like Open Country, where it tries to be able to do all of these different things and it just doesn't do any of them well. I would rather have a specific game for fishing, and a specific game for falconry, and a specific game for hunting, and have them all do those things really, really well, rather than try and pile them all into one game, which is ultimately what Open Country did, and then just not do any of those things well at all. That's my personal opinion on it. I'd really be interested to hear what you guys think about these questions that popped up in the survey. And I will link the survey both in the description and as a pinned comment for you guys, so you can go on and fill it out yourself. And if you want to, go on then, fill it out yourself, and then come back and tell me what you think about it. Because, like I said, the big thing that struck me was the amount of questions about fishing. And I think EW are hearing all of these desires that people have for fishing being included in Call of the Wild, and are taking that as a sign that maybe it would be a good idea to make a fishing game. And I think they could do, like I said, I think they could do a really, really good job. It just depends, for me personally, how it's done, whether I will be extremely interested in it, or whether it's something that I'll just pick up and put back down again like other fishing games I've played. If they do manage to give it that replayability that they have done so fantastically with the Hunter Classic and the Hunter Call of the Wild, you constantly can come back and look for trophies, and you're never going to have two hunts exactly the same, because there's always that random chance of finding a diamond or finding a rare or just something cool in general. You might find a deer with really wonky antlers, or just something interesting happens. And with the environments that they have managed to create for Call of the Wild, I think they could create some really world-class fishing maps. Because, for example, take Leighton Lakes and just add more water to it. What a stunning map for fishing. And this is something that I've seen a lot of people talking about. This is actually why I chose to run around Leighton Lakes, just for something to go on in the background while I'm talking away here. There is actually fish in the water in certain places on Leighton Lakes. Those fish are not catchable or interactable with, if that makes sense. You can't interact with them or anything. I saw someone the other day claiming that they managed to harvest a fish, but it's not possible. It's not something that's in-game currently. Those fish have always been there. They're just added scenery, kind of like the birds that fly around, which you can see on screen. You've just got the ambient birds, and there's sort of ambient fish as well, I guess. So I think, like I said, there's so much potential for it, but it just depends on how it's done. But I'm personally quite excited based off of all of these different questions that were in this survey. And like I said, it really does seem to depend what answers you put, what questions you get from talking with a couple of other people. But the fishing questions seem to be sort of going, everyone that I spoke to had fishing questions. So it'll be interesting to hear what you guys get in terms of, did you get fishing questions come up as well? I'll be interested to hear that. What do you think if EW are planning to make a fishing game? Is it something that you would be interested in? What would you like to see in a fishing game? Would you like I would, the trophy lodge system and I'm saying diamond fish, but trophy fish and rare fish? Would you like the in-depth customization for characters? Because that's something I'd really like to see. And that was a question that came up as well, was how well do you feel that Call of the Wild does certain things? And there was questions about environment and environment detail, and then it went all the way through to character customization, which is something that I think really needs to be improved upon in Call of the Wild. That's something I've always wanted to be something that they work on, because at the moment you can't really customize your character that much. There's more customization in the Hunter Classic, where you can choose your full outfit and stuff like that, but you don't really get that much customization in Call of the Wild in terms of your character. So I'd love to see that improved as well, but it seems like most of this survey was directed at a potential new game or new games. But anyway, I'm going to stop rambling now, because I feel like I've rambled quite a lot in this one, but I've just got so many ideas, and I'm really, really quite excited for the potential of what might end up coming out of this, and I definitely think it's something worth keeping an eye on. But that is going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope I didn't ramble too much and bore you. And yeah, thank you guys so much for everything and all your support. As always, it really means the world to me. As I try to tell you guys all the time, it means so much to me. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you.